What's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. Alright, so this is an incredibly rare video. Very rare video. One of the more rare videos I've ever done. Why? Because this entire video, for the most part, maybe not all, but like 95% of this video is absolutely positive. You do not get many positive videos out of me because we live in a bleak time in professional wrestling. We live in a bleak time in this world where the only way to get around is to bow down to corporatism. And corporatism influences everything. And we have a bunch of little shits who go around and they take said corporatism and they pretend as if it's an actual thing that's going to elevate everything when they don't recognize in reality that corporatism is nothing more than stifling everyone's creativity. Creatively? Let's go with that. Creatively. Okay. So check it out. Did I watch Wrestle Kingdom last night? No. Why? Because I went to bed. Why? Because sleep is more important. But it's not as if I didn't keep up with the results, and it's not as if I didn't go back to go see what happened. It is the WrestleMania for New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I still at the very least have to see what the fuck happened in regards to the results. And nothing I can't give a shit about. But what I did notice, though, is apparently the former Dolph Ziggler, now going by his real name, Nick Nemeth, made his debut at Wrestle Kingdom, right? And something was followed by it, or I guess preceding it, or would have been preceding or follow. I don't know which one came first, but I went to go look. I seen this video, right? It was a video with, I guess it was like a vignette, because all these wrestlers do these kind of vignettes whenever they leave WWE. Jon Moxley did it when he was breaking out of jail. I think, what's his name? Buddy Murphy, for some reason, did one, as if anyone gave a shit about. I love Buddy Murphy, but just being honest, no one gives a shit about Buddy Murphy. He did one, too. I think he just blatantly ripped off Jon Moxley's, jail theme, if I'm not mistaken. Aleister Black had a pretty cool one when he was, in a mental asylum or something like that. That was pretty cool. And, Dolph Ziggler has one. And I can't front. That was one of the most badass vignettes I've ever seen. It's like he just kind of ripped off. It was like a combination of two things. It's like he ripped off Shaun of the Dead, or maybe The Walking Dead. I'll probably say Shaun of the Dead because the zombies in Shaun of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead aren't retards like The Walking Dead. So I think he ripped off I'll just say Dawn of the Dead because it's the more serious one. He ripped off Dawn of the Dead, and I don't know if you guys ever seen this movie back in the 90s. It's a great fucking movie from George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. It's called what's Darkness Before Dawn. It's a vampire movie, but the vampires, they kind of act like zombies. It's weird. It's one of the best and most underrated vampire movies I think I've ever seen in my life. Check it out if you ever get the opportunity. It came out I seen it for the first time with my grandmother back in the 90s, but I think it came out in 95 or 96. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie, which you already know is badass automatically because Quentin Tarantino was involved, called Darkness Before Dawn. Great fucking movie. And he kind of ripped off both elements, and he made this whole new vignette where he's arrested by I'll leave a link down in the description box so you guys can see it. It's on his YouTube channel. And he's arrested by the cop for some reason. I don't know why. And the cop is stereotypical. He's eating donuts and shit. They just ambushed by a zombie. And he just I guess he got bitten. And he's trying to attack Dolph Ziggler. But Dolph Ziggler breaks out the car window and he gets out the cop's car, and then the cop tries to attack him, but he falls down and his head is outside of the car door, and he takes the car door and he just starts slamming it into its head until he I guess either decapitates him or smashes his head into pieces. And then, like, he's walking, he gets the handcuffs off, and he's walking down an alley or something like that. Then another zombie comes, tries to ambush him, but then, like, he, you know, smashes his head against the wall, and, like, you know, I forgot how he killed it. I think he punched it in the face and just, like, stumped on his head or something like that. Then he made it into, like, this bar looking thing, and he gets inside, and it's like, you can hear all the zombies trying to get through the door, and, he's, like, looking for weapons. He's, like, picking up a golf club. He's, like, for some reason, picking up a duck. I guess that's just a comedy element. Maybe Shaun of the Dead is appropriate. And then, like, he picks up a whiskey bottle. And eventually, like, this fucking aging, almost John Laurinaitis-looking zombie comes inside. And he, like, gets into a battle with it, which eventually ends with him super kicking his head off and decapitating it. And, like, this whole time, blood is getting all over him, and he gets, like, a whiskey, and the whiskey bottle he picked up, or bourbon bottle, he, like, it looked like whiskey, though, and, like, he put, like, a tissue inside it, and then, like, lit it up like a Molotov cocktail, and then he, like, threw it, and it, like, blew up, and, you know, his new theme song, I assume, is called Wanted Man, which I'll also leave in the description box below. It started playing, it's, like, a very mid-80s, late 80s kind of song. It sounds kind of like a, like, you know, like those stereotypical Bon Jovi, you know, kind of sounds like a little tiny bit like that Rocky Like a Hurricane song from Scorpion, but I don't know, I could be wrong. But it kind of sounds like, you know, like a 80s rock ballad song, whatever. It was really cool, though. It's a badass vignette. Take the opportunity to go check it out. Again, the link is under the description box below. I'm describing all this because I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at Dolph Ziggler's presentation, and I'm saying to myself, that's a really cool fucking presentation. And I'm like, you know what, Dolph Ziggler? And I will say, see, here's the thing that you guys don't know about me. And I think some of my friends, if they're in the watching the video, they can vouch for me. I started to dislike Dolph Ziggler once we got around 2015, 2016. In particular, definitely 2017. Because I always just felt like, okay, dude, you're hindering yourself. You are literally going out of your way. Because you know you don't really have a gimmick. You never try to go out of your way to go focus on a gimmick and a character back in 2012 and 2013. When you were actually, you know, starting to get really, really over with the audience. That should have been the opportunity to distinguish yourself from the pack. But the problem is, back in those days, you don't have wrestling like it is right now. So Dolph Ziggler was considered one of the best wrestlers, period, at least in the mainstream market, because you didn't have NXT like that to compete against. You didn't have AEW to compete against. All the ROH shows and TNA and all that other stuff was on the outskirts. No one really paid attention to them all too much. Maybe TNA, and even then, the wrestling still wasn't to the standards of how you see it right now, right? So Dolph Ziggler was the best of a bunch. And the problem with Dolph Ziggler is that he never really went out of his way to have a character, because his character was the show-off. You know, he was the guy who can go out there and kill it in the ring all the time. The problem with that is once you got around 2014 going forward with the explosion of NXT, now ROH is starting to make it big, and don't even get me started once you get around 2019, and now you have New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is now starting to get more wrestling mainstream. Now you have AEW on the horizon. Again, all the indie wrestling is getting crazy. NXT is getting crazy. Hell, even the main roster on WWE, with all the leaking of the main roster guys going little by little to Raw and SmackDown, even the main roster started to get really, really crazy from an in-ring perspective, and Dolph Ziggler no longer stood out. I mean, he's a great wrestler, but I mean, in comparison to other people who could do all these crazy dives and flips and false finishes and all this other bullshit, it's not as if Dolph Ziggler can't do that. It's just, you are no longer that guy. You're no longer that guy who can claim to be that standard bearer, and you don't have a character to go along with that. You had the opportunity to make a character. You have the opportunity to build a character at the time when it would have really necessitated you to, so you could separate yourself from the bunch even further along with your in-ring action and all that other stuff, which is the problem that I have with professional wrestling right now that no one really wants to talk about, which is distinguishing yourself from the rest of the pack. And he didn't do that. And he suffered for it greatly, like brutally, greatly. Never mind the fact that he was kind of injury prone at the time back in the early 2010s also. And it just made him kind of a guy where you look at, you just say to yourself, okay, well, at this point, there's a lot of new talent and a lot of new blood who are starting to come up. We don't really see the point in you in regards to what we perceive that you can do to help be a needle mover, or at the very least, be the kind of guy to help promote or do something. So we're just going to use you as a jobber to the stars, essentially. And in my opinion, that was the correct role for Dolph Ziggler. But I kind of buried in the lead here. There was a point in time back in 2011, 2010, 2012 where I was kind of a big Dolph Ziggler fan. Because again, at that time I was kind of a huge smark when it came to the in-ring action. And I did see Dolph Ziggler as one of, if not the best wrestler in the world at that particular time. But as time starts to go on, again, still within that smark mindset prior to 2015, I started to really think about Dolph Ziggler, and I said to myself, damn, now we have Cesaro. Now we have people like Sami Zayn. Now we have Pac. At the time, we had people like Tyler Breeze and, Tyson Kidd was still killing it at the time. There are a bunch of talents who really outshine and outpace Dolph Ziggler from an in-ring perspective, and I feel like the angles that they're participating in is a lot more stronger. So why the fuck do I give a shit about a Dolph Ziggler? And whenever I actually seen him, he kind of gave me the same effect as to how I feel about a Rey Mysterio today or Chris Jericho in AEW, where it's like, fuck, he's involved with the story. God damn, this is gonna fucking suck. With the exception of maybe the Miz angle he had back in 2016, that's about the only good thing he did going forward. I kind of like what he was trying to do, like this is my last chance, this is my last time to actually... That was decent, I like that. But again, eventually, after the Dolph Ziggler stuff at No Mercy started to... And really, that had more to do with Dolph Ziggler, the Miz, and did Dolph Ziggler. But, I'm not here to try to play the one-sided game. That's how I felt about Dolph Ziggler going forward. It's just that if you're not going to go out of your way to expand yourself, if you're not going to go out of your way to grow, and maybe he just felt that WWE wasn't going to put any more time and effort into a person like him, and he became super duper lazy. I don't know. I'm not going to say that's the actual case, but I don't know as to what Dolph Ziggler's mind was at to put him into a position where now I personally feel that I don't want to invest my time or invest my worrisome about a guy who doesn't really seem like he gives a shit himself, and now he's pretty much in purgatory, right? I don't really give a fuck anymore. Then he got released in 2023. And in my honest opinion, my first thoughts, and I still got my videos on this channel, some of my earlier videos on this channel, good riddance. Who gives a shit? Like, okay, Dolph Ziggler got released. Who cares? People are like, oh, he's going to go to AEW and he's going to show himself. Oh, he's going to do... And what, be the show-off in 2023? Yeah, sure. Good luck. Good luck being the show-off compared to a guy like Kenny Omega. For sure. Go for it. Go ahead. Be the show-off in comparison to, like, the Young Bucks in front of all these AEW fanboys. No, go ahead, Dolph Ziggler. Be the show-off. And then this video dropped. And then see how he actually carried himself against Fit Family's son at New Japan Pro Wrestling during that little press conference thing they were doing. And I'm like, I like what I see. I can't front. I like what I see. And I'm saying to myself, okay, Dolph Ziggler, you got my attention. I want to see where you're going to go with this. Is this wanted man character that you're developing right now based off of this vignette, is that going to coincide with what you're doing in New Japan Pro Wrestling? Is this wanted man character going to coincide with the eventual, because he's going to go to AEW. He's in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. They have a good working relationship with AEW, and his brother's in AEW currently at the moment. Like, is this going to kind of venture into your AEW run, which we know inevitably is going to happen? Like, you guys have to remember, we're now in, 2024, which means Dolph is, because I think Dolph is, his birthday's the same week as my birthday, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's like maybe 3 days before my birthday. So he's going to be 44 this year. There's the time, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking for Dolph Ziggler as far as his peak performance years, right? He's a gifted guy. Don't get it twisted. But there's only so far you can go. How far are you going to go as far as your performance years is considered? Now we're in a kind of reverse Uno type of deal where it's like, okay, now you're developing the character, which is way more important than the in-ring stuff. But you still got to deliver in the ring, right? Beforehand, it was like he's delivering in the ring, but he has no character. Now he's starting to develop a character, but now you're starting to age, and now we have to call into question your peak performance years. What's going to happen when you get in the ring with the rest of these guys with this character? You going to be a Chris Jericho? Don't be a Chris Jericho. Never be a Chris Jericho. I think he actually confronted Jericho on the show, too, if I'm not mistaken. It is what it is, though. I'm very curious. I'm rubbing my chin, and I'm looking at what Dolph Ziggler is doing, and I'm saying to myself, okay, so this is the path you want to go down. I'm with you, bro. I want to see what you want to do. I want to see what you can do. I want to see where this is going to go. Are you going to be a Cody Rhodes? Are you going to be a AJ Styles? Are you going to be a Drew McIntyre? To go out on the indie circuit and tell WWE, okay, you want to fucking fire me? You want to release me? Let me show you what I have to give the business that you guys fucked up on. Are you going to tell me, Devontae, as a fan, you guys judged me, and you guys said to me, you guys wrote, you guys typed, you guys told me essentially that I was a complete fucking nobody, that I was a jobber loser bitch who didn't deserve his spot in the beginning because you felt about me that I wasn't determined to continue down this path of what we consider greatness in professional wrestling. No, you guys didn't understand. Devontae didn't understand how the backstage ongoing is going WWE, and I was stifled creatively, and I was never given the chance to succeed. Okay, and I'll be willing to admit that I was wrong if that's the case. I'll take that L, but you have to prove it to me first. I'm very, very okay with taking an L when the circumstances happen to be very, very positive to my entertainment value. And if Dolph Ziggler can go out there and he can kill it with this current gimmick, this wanted man gimmick, he has a great theme song, has a, for what it looks like in the vignette, a great character. Okay, I'm willing to take the L on that if he can actually go out there and prove me wrong. That's an L that I'm willing to take and sit back and say to myself, okay, cool, it's an L. And honestly, you just be another great tell of, I wouldn't even say cautionary tale because I feel like that's bad, but like a tell of, you know, okay, well, he's now added to the Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles list. A guy who can leave a company, go on his own independently, and come back to WWE. Or maybe, hell, who knows? Who knows? I doubt this to be the case, but who knows? Maybe you can even be a needle mover in AEW. Only one way to find out, Dolph. Or, as I guess we should start calling him, Nick. Prove me wrong, man. Like Chris Benoit. Prove me wrong. Damn it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. How you feel about Dolph Ziggler's new vignette? How you feel about Dolph Ziggler's new character? How do you feel about Dolph Ziggler in general? I gotta get used to it. How do you feel about Nick Nemeth's new character going forward? Do you feel as if he's going to succeed in New Japan Pro Wrestling? Do you feel that he's going to prove everybody wrong about him who pretty much wrote him off as nothing more than a flash in the pan, jobber ass loser bitch? He's a Spirit Squad person. He's Vicky Guerrero's sidekick. He's Chavo Guerrero's caddy. He's nothing more than the guy who's holding back the potential of Big E. AJ Lee's a bigger star than him. He's the guy that John Cena put over and came nothing of it. He's an Austin Theory before Austin Theory was Austin Theory. Do you guys feel as if Nick Nemeth's going to prove us wrong? If it means anything, I'm rooting for the guy. I am absolutely rooting for the guy. Nothing wrong with having more top stars of professional wrestling, and I mean genuine top stars. Not these guys who are running around calling themselves top stars, but the next minute wrestling for the Intercontinental Championship or wrestling for the TNT. Well, I won't say AEW because AEW has no fucking clue what it means to have a hierarchy in professional wrestling. That's why they got rid of their dumbass ranking system. But with that being said, folks, my name is Devontae, and I will be catching you guys later. Deuces, and I'm motherfucking P-ash bitches.